What's good, fool? Us ghetto grimy young vatos is back with the illest retro content on YouTube. Yes indeed, yes indeed. For this video, it's the ultimate showdown versus the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I never really was a part of the console war. Crazy thing that Lil Vatos really don't experience these days because they got crossplay with all these new games, fool. But the console that you bought literally determined who you ended up being friends with. Am I right or am I wrong? And that is just wild. These days, Lil Vatos got it good. You could be playing on a Switch, a phone, a toaster, and that thing got crossplay. Back in the day, fool, that was not a thing. It was the great divide back in the day. Whichever console you had really did determine which friend group you were gonna rock with heavier after school. Now, a little bit of backstory, Vato. I started off on the Xbox 360, but then that thing ended up getting the red ring of death twice. And my pops was like, nah, we ain't dealing with that. Plus, that Blu-ray is looking mighty magnificent. So we went ahead and swapped over to the PS3, you heard? Something real slight, something real nifty. And I am gonna be unbiased in this showdown, fool, because I actually got love for both consoles. I think they both have their strong suits and their weak suits. The PlayStation is way easier to jailbreak, and it is way easier to get emulators on it. There's a whole bunch you could do on a PS3, fool. You could play PS3, PS2, PS1, PSP. Then you got all the 8-bit and 16-bit retro consoles as well. The PS3 makes a real fine emulation and retro device these days. I actually highly recommend you get one. Now with the Xbox 360, you still gotta be Dexter in the laboratory pulling that thing apart and soldering all these type of chips and stuff to get it working. I know it's not that crazy, but you really do. Isn't it absolutely bonkers that we still haven't figured out how to mod the Xbox 360? That's wild to me. You got to give it up for the technicians over there at Microsoft, because obviously they knew what they were doing for this many years to pass, and still nobody cracked it, fool. Nobody's cracked into that without actually getting in and soldering some type of chip. With that being said, Vato, if you're looking for a Retroid handheld that's preloaded with PS2, GameCube, N64, plus many more systems libraries, the emulator's already set up, the BIOS already set up, plug and play, Vato. Make sure you head on down to Uncle Clay's Arcade, where we got the illest handhelds on the market, fool. The controllers. The PlayStation had them toy controllers, Vato. The PlayStation controllers were pretty boof. Now at the time, fool, I thought they were nice. But when I've looked back on it and I've gotten a PS3 controller in my hands recently, I'm like, damn, fool, this is some Toys R Us type of product compared to the Xbox 360 controller. The Xbox 360 controller was definitely better. But the main thing Vatos don't speak about, and if you're on the Xbox 360 side, you really don't understand this, but the PS3 didn't have private voice chat. The only way that you could speak to your friends on the PS3 was in-game voice chat. And this was quite the nifty experience, Vato. That means everybody was mic'd up, especially if you were in those Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1 lobbies, fool. Everybody was mic'd up on the PlayStation. On the 360, you had a lot of groups that stayed in their little private chat and didn't really talk to too many people. But on the PlayStation, you were literally forced to be a part of the public lobby chats, and that would just hit different. Me having a PlayStation, it had me fiending for Halo. Like, I remember going to my homie's house every weekend trying to play Halo, because that was that crack. That was that bubonic chronic. I could not get enough of Halo, fool. It made me big sad that it was never on the PlayStation. I was like, man, fool, I might have to give up my PlayStation just for that game. I'm not even gonna lie, Halo was that illmatic. It was that immaculate. Now we gotta get to the user interface. The PlayStation 3 has one of the most magnificent user interfaces that's ever been created. Even to this day, it is top tier. There are multiple platforms such as RetroArch that uses the XMB UI because it is that immaculate. It is that bonkers. Now the Xbox 360 started off with a different UI, and then it got updated, but even then it still was nothing close to the PS3 UI. Let's be real, Vato. In terms of graphics, that's a difficult one. I want to say majority of the time they were kind of going blow for blow on the graphics end. I would argue that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 both had the games that looked very good on those consoles. it's pretty difficult for me to say that one wins over the other. And obviously this is all subjective. Everything that I'm saying is purely subjective. Everybody has their own experiences with the consoles. We in grandma's basement right now, so don't expect me to have both consoles on me and yada yada woo. You heard? This is off the mental, off script. I will never forget getting my first gaming headset. I felt like I could hear footsteps across Narnia, Vato. I felt like a superhuman. It was insanity. Even to this day, it just doesn't hit the same. I don't know what Turtle Beach was doing. They had some type of brand new elixir. They had something crazy in them headphones, because like I said, I was hearing people across the map. That's another thing PlayStation had. PlayStation, we didn't have to pay for no subscription back in the day. Online was free, you heard? All you Xbox people was paying monthly already for that online play, but us on the PlayStation, we was getting that on the low for free. That was quite nifty as well. In terms of the Kinect versus the PlayStation Move, I'm gonna have to give it to the PlayStation Move. I always thought the Kinect was real boof. I'm not gonna lie. Like, even to this day, the Kinect is just sorry. It's really nothing. I can't say that I played one Kinect game that I can remember that was actually decent or actually good. Now on the Move, I'm not gonna say that there was a whole bunch, but it was a better experience than the Kinect, that's for sure, fool. Oh, that's one thing back in the day. Don't you miss the midnight release? Isn't that just gone? Isn't that just so sad? Our little young Vatos will never truly get to experience a midnight release. My birthday would literally land on the day that Call of Duty launched. Literally, every single year, fool. It would always launch on November 4th on my birthday, or like real close to that, and it was so illmatic, Vato. Every single year I was on that, stayed home from school, always got first prestige before I had to go back. A lot of the things that we take for granted now was all built on these consoles, on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. They were both kind of the first real generation of online gameplay. I know that the PS2 and the original Xbox has some type of online play, but I feel like it really wasn't a part of the whole gaming sphere until the 360 and the PS3. And it just hit different. Let's not forget about Little Big Planet, Vato. Little Big Planet was hitting, fool. Let's be real. Little Big Planet was hitting. I'm not gonna say that I would want to go back to those consoles, but if you go back and you try to go play the Xbox 360 or the PS3, some of those games are hitting 20 FPS, and it's absolutely atrocious. Absolutely trifling, the performance that we used to deal with back in the day, but hey, we didn't know no better. So to us, that was that illmatic, that was that ill bubonic chronic. Now, I do think overall games have gotten better with the newer generations. Like, obviously the graphics have gotten better. You know, tragically, what are you gonna do, fool? People gotta make their money. I understand, they a business, they gotta make their money. It is what it is. You know, you used to have to grind. You could get that ill gold camo if you got 1,000 headshots or something. I hope y'all had an ill day today. A little grimy young Vatos trying to get out of grandma's basement. So if you're rocking with the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, so a young grimy little Vato can get out of grandma's basement, can get out of the dungeon. We really trying to make it out here. It's about time some Vatos get up in here, fool. They ain't no Vatos out here, fool. It's about time that some Vatos get their name known in the retro and gaming community, fool. So if you rocking with the content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so I can see you next time. My message, just like other videos, fool, is I want you to chase your dreams, fool. No matter what they are, no matter how difficult it seems, no matter how high that mountain seems. Especially if you're a little fool, especially if you're a little Vato. You understand me? Whatever you're dreaming of, you can make happen. You can do it. I believe in you. The same way y'all believe in me, I believe in you. And that's word is born on the dead homies. Yo, shout out to Oscar, fool. Shout out to the dead homie Oscar. Let me just pour out a little 40 for him in my imagination right quick. I love you, Oscar. We're at 316 subscribers. We're running it up. I think in the past 2 videos, I done got like 50 subscribers. Shit is greasy. What could I say? Papa Clay is inevitable. I am inevitable, Vato. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before we on. Us Vatos, fool. We in the basement right now. We in the dungeon still. Let me know down in the comments, Vato, which was your favorite console out of the PS3 or the Xbox 360, or were you one of them fools on the Wii? It's all good. I got love for the Wii too. Let me know down in the comments, what was your favorite thing about the PlayStation 3? What was your favorite thing about the 360? What was your favorite games? What was your favorite features? God is good. God is good all the time. Well, I'll see you next time, Vato. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I'll see you next time.
Before we got granadas, Molotovs throwing their casa, M14s, a few Mag 10s, MP5s, keep you alive. Go get them here up the strength of the if. Before we got a bundle bulletproof with a SIG, comes with a few hollow points in the clip. This top shelf, ill as it get.